Welcome back to another episode with myself, Jack Wright, and
Jacob Hardie.
we are here in beautiful Sanford Stadium once again. Another beautiful sight. Jacob, how you feeling?
I'm feeling good. I'm excited for the Dawgs to get back out here on Saturday. Noon kickoff against the Kentucky Wildcats. I'm excited to see what we put out on the field.
Georgia's coming off of a tough loss last week,
Yeah.
falling to the Crimson Tide 21-24. Let's talk about that for the first few minutes here and just kind of get all that out of the way so we can move forward to the Kentucky week and the season going forward. Honestly, what was your biggest takeaway from the game in terms of what happened?
I think the biggest takeaway from the game is we really got to get out of this habit of being a first half team.
A slow
starting first half team and being a second half team.
Yep.
Being a second half team, because the defense, we struggled a little bit in the first half, similar to how we saw versus Tennessee. But then the second half, Alabama didn't even put up a field goal the entire time. The offense came out. We started running the ball extremely well. Chauncey Bowens balled out, 12 carries, 100-something yards with a touchdown.
He looked 10 a carry.
Basically a first down a carry. I mean, that was an elite game. I loved how the O-line looked. The O-line also looked to show improvement, and they did. The run game, they dominated Alabama's D-line, even with returning starters coming back. And in the pass game, Gunner had some pressure, but for the most part, we kept him clean. So I want to see all that throughout the entirety of a game, and I think on this week at Kentucky, we have opportunity to show that.
Yeah, I have three things I want to touch on when it comes to to what happened. The first thing I want to touch on is actually something that you brought up last week, and that being that bye weeks you go back to the fundamentals on the bye weeks. You go back to the basics, you talk tackling. And while we were watching that game, that was honestly, your statement was the thought that was going over and over in my head. In that first half, we couldn't wrap up anything.
Yeah.
Our tackling was abysmal. I'm trying to figure out, maybe you have a better idea of this, of whether it was a lack of tackling or an acquired skill of elusiveness from the Alabama players. And I'd like to hear your take on it, because from my perspective, from where we were watching, it really looked like we just couldn't wrap up.
I'll say it's Bama. So we gotta understand, Bama's Bama for a reason.
Yep.
So I mean, they got some dudes on that team. They got some shifty dudes on that team. We've seen Ryan Williams make dudes miss since he's been 17.
Yep. 17.
But in a game like that, not to give the guys any excuses or write it off for any reason, but in a game like that, I think in the first half you just want to make that big hit, and especially in a game like that, an atmosphere like that. I mean, this is one of the best atmospheres I've seen Sanford Stadium ever since I've been here, even as a player. You want to make that big hit. You want to be the reason the crowd goes ooh in the stands and all that stuff. So I think a little bit of the environment played into the game. Guys kind of pressing a little too much, like wanting to have that knock you out hit where it's like, hey, bro, we just need to get this dude down. And in the second half, we saw a completely different team. We were wrapping, form tackling, getting dudes down, knockback tackles, not just, holding them up and then they drag forward for more yards. Everything was getting handled. So we just need to see that through the entirety of the game.
Yeah, I agree with that. The second half was a significant improvement upon pretty much everything in the entire game. The next thing I wanted to touch on was, a lot of people will go and say, well, Ty Simpson tore us up, 270 yards, 2 touchdowns, a rushing touchdown. Like, he tore us up. The secondary was terrible. I don't think that was the case at all.
I don't think so at all either.
I don't think, and I mentioned this in the post game, I don't think our defensive line even had a hurry. Like, our defensive line was just getting eaten by this Alabama offensive line, and no discredit to our defensive line. That Alabama offensive line is just loaded with NFL talent, but
for sure,
we really, really had a hard time getting home. And something I talked about in the show last week was that these games are typically the games where the Georgia defensive line steps up, plays up. Like the Texas game last year, we were struggling all season for the first 5 games, couldn't get to the quarterback. Texas game comes around, Quinn Ewers gets basically knocked out of the game with how many times he got hit. Arch Manning was in for 6 plays and was hitting 3 of them.
Yeah.
Like it's typically one of the games where Georgia's defensive line stepped up, but that wasn't the case against Alabama. Do you think that was truly an Alabama scheme, an Alabama problem, or do you think we really have a problem when it comes to pass rush?
I think there's a lot of dudes who just need to get comfortable in terms of pass rush. We have a lot of inexperience, whether it's transfers or young guys who are still getting their feet wet in terms of getting, especially in games like that. No discredit, but playing some of the teams we went up against early in the season is no comparison what atmosphere and then competitively to an Alabama. So we still got to give guys time to get, accustomed to that level of play. Excuse me. But schematically, it also, like you said, it also went into Alabama's game plan. They were also getting the ball out like that. They were really dinking and dunking. Ty Simpson really didn't have a pass longer than about 15 yards many times. Everything was 5, 10, 7, 5, a whole bunch of dink and dunks. No discredit to him. I mean, that's the offense. He ran it perfectly. He ran it for them to win. But it's hard to get home in 2 seconds. Even in the NFL, most sacks are happening 4.5 seconds after the play. 2 to 3 seconds, that's 7-on-7.
Yeah, and I think you mentioned, I'll kind of, this is kind of going to be a wraparound comment, but something you said there, like he was doing his job. Those are sometimes my favorite type of quarterbacks to watch. Like the guys who aren't necessarily the most supremely talented guys, but they just do their job. I think a primo example of that, and this is so off topic, is Jalen Hurts. I don't think he is the most talented arm. I don't think he's the most elusive runner, but he does his job exactly as he's asked to do his job week after week. Like, they don't ask him to make the huge throw.
This is going to be a hot take. Tom Brady.
No, exactly. I agree.
That's Tom Brady.
Tom Brady mentally is above everybody.
Level, of course.
But physically, he just does his job.
He wasn't the best arm. Like, he had good arm talent, but he wasn't the best.
Not mobile.
He had good accuracy, but he wasn't the greatest. He's definitely not mobile, as
not
you
at
just
all.
said. But he's the GOAT, and nobody's going to deny that.
And those are the type of guys that you want in your locker room because they do the things outside of the game that make them great, like the pocket presence.
For sure.
Like having the presence to step up or step back or step side to side in the pocket is not necessarily something that like you just have.
Right.
It's something that's learned and something that's trained. And certain guys like Tom Brady trained his pocket presence like crazy. Like the mental games, being able to study and read a defense like that is something that's another key factor in being a great quarterback. And honestly, I think a guy who's making the strides to do his job is Gunnar Stockton.
For sure.
I think Gunnar does his job. Kirby, I honestly think Kirby's biggest thing with Gunnar is protect the football. Like, and that should be with every quarterback, but specifically with Gunnar, protect the football. Don't put the football in harm's way.
Right.
And Gunnar does that better than 99% of college quarterbacks have.
Especially as a first-year starter.
Especially as a first year. Has he thrown a pick yet this year?
Not that I can think of.
I don't think he has, and no fumbles either.
No.
Like he's protecting the football, and that's something I'm a really big fan of. Sorry, that was very off topic. Back to what we were talking about with Alabama. The last thing I want to talk about, the thing everybody wants to talk about, coaching and decision making. We get down to the 6-yard line, 3rd and 1, run it right up the gut. It looks like we get there. It's kind of close, and we decide to go for it. And we decide to run a hurry up and go for it. Now I have a couple things to talk about that, and I'll kind of flip back and forth and let you
for sure
feed into some of those things. My first thing is I understand the want to go hurry up there, but judging from where I was watching, which was down there watching,
by the sideline,
I really couldn't see the play because I was on the other end, but I was watching up here, and I really thought we got it on 3rd. I really did.
Right.
And I don't understand the thought process in not waiting for a replay. I really thought there was a chance that even if they look at it, like let them look at it and then give us a chance to bring in our jumbo personnel, bring in all the tight ends, put McCray at fullback and give the ball to Chauncey, like something like that. But instead we go hurry up. Cash Jones is the guy, and we run the play, and obviously it goes as it goes. Are you the type that would be in favor of running that hurry up play, or would you rather sit, wait, get your personnel in and go?
I don't want to second guess Coach Kirby, but
it's fair.
And I'll say this: I saw on the news that he said they had already went into that play, the 3rd down, saying as long as we don't go backwards, we're hurrying up.
Yep.
So even if it stopped at the goal line, even if it was a stalemate and it was clearly we didn't get it, but it just stopped at the line of scrimmage. I said goal line of scrimmage. They were going for it. So that was already a predetermined play. As far as the play that followed after that, the 4th down, like I said, inexperience kind of led because one missed block by a true freshman who's been playing phenomenal all season.
Juan has had a great season.
Right, he's had a great season. He's been if anything, he's been an asset for us as a true freshman.
Yep.
He just it happens. He's in, it's a young player in a big game. It happens. He's going to mess up. he don't miss that block, we're not talking about this. We're
No,
talking
not at
about
all.
how Kirby Smart is the most gutsy, ballsy guy in all of Georgia. Mike Bobo is the greatest offensive coordinator, but mistakes are going to happen. Guys are going to miss a block. Cash is going to get tripped up by a 300-pound dude grabbing his ankle.
Yep.
Things are going to happen. You know, the ball doesn't always bounce your way. I just wish, you know, fans would kind of, you know, understand, like, coaches aren't going into these things. You're either going to be the GOAT or the scapegoat.
Yeah.
So there's no in between. So it's not. Sometimes you just gotta take those hits, knowing, hey, if I make this call, I'm either gonna be the greatest coach of all time, or I'm gonna be the one everybody hates. And I think it was one of them type of calls.
Yeah, I think it's a great point. Goat or scapegoat. I
Literally.
like that. I know you're obviously a former player as of last year,
Yeah.
and you're not wanting to step on any toes,
No.
specifically Kirby's toes.
No.
I personally would have liked to see I'm not a huge fan of the idea of a predetermined play. I'm not the
I could
biggest
agree
fan
with
of that. And I understand, obviously, he has his reasonings. He's a great coach. But I would much rather see what the defense is giving us.
For sure.
And, I mean, even if they know what's coming, jumbo package, McCray, Bowens, like, getting a half
like the tush
yard.
push of the Eagles. They know it's coming, but you
why
can't stop it.
I thought QB sneak should have been the play call too, but I going off of what you said with scapegoat, I don't want to see a single negative Bobo comment in the comments of this video. Bobo had a great game.
He did.
But I thought Bobo called the game very well. First of all, the play call right there, not a Bobo call. That is a Kirby Smart call.
That's a head coach.
Going for it in general, not a Bobo call. Bobo can't control the missed block. Bobo can't control. So Bobo, I thought, had honestly, I really liked his game against Tennessee, but I also really liked this game.
No, I was not disappointed at all with Coach Bobo's play calling. I thought he called a great game. There were some plays we just fell short. But the schematics, the drawing X and O's, they were there.
Yep.
It wasn't, it just didn't work out in our favor, which is going to happen in the game of football.
Yeah, that was evident on the unfortunate drop on the goal line.
Right.
Like literally perfect play.
Yeah.
I mean, he had nobody within 5 yards of him. It was phenomenal. It was a great drawn up play, executed perfectly, and drops happen, and that's just kind of how it goes. Like, drops are going to happen in football, and unfortunately, it was he's a freshman, right? Unfortunately, it was a true freshman in a big moment, but it is what it is, and Talon Taylor will have 100 more catches in his career at Georgia. That one will not define him.
For sure.
Last thing on Alabama, and then we'll move on to this coming week. What is it going to take for you personally? Like, what do you want to see growth-wise from Georgia this week I know Kentucky, and like you always say, not to talk down to an opponent, but Kentucky is not Alabama. What is it going to take growth-wise to impress you this week?
4 quarters of dominance.
Okay.
I think it's going to take 4 quarters from start to finish of, not going into halftime and having to have whether it's a speech or a new scheme, and I mean that from all parts of the team, whether it's even the equipment staff. I want to dominate the equipment from the start of the game.
Yep.
Coaching, players, all that stuff. I want to dominate that from the start of the game. I want, as soon as the ball is kicked off, it's Dawgs, from special teams, offense, defense. If dudes should not be able to play with us, let's not even give them a glimpse of hope that they can compete with us, because they can't. And I think that about every team we play, not even just Kentucky, coming in this week. I felt that about Alabama, and I still feel that about Alabama. I feel that about Ohio State, and I'll forever feel about Ohio State. I don't think any of these teams can play with us, so let's dominate from start to finish and show them that.
Yeah, I like that a lot.
Yeah.
All right, let's talk about the game we got this weekend here in Athens. We will be on the sideline for noon kickoff Eastern. It's going to be Georgia. It's going to be Kentucky.
For sure.
What are your overall thoughts on this Kentucky team?
Aaron Murray went on his show and dubbed them as the worst team in the SEC, and I don't want to disrespect them like that. I actually think that more shows how strong the SEC is this year, because Kentucky lost to one of the best teams in the SEC, Ole Miss, only by 7. They lost to South Carolina last week in a game, but they defensively, they only gave up 21 points. They gave up 14 points off turnovers alone. The run game has been great for them. Their defense, Mark Stoops' coach defense, which everybody knows has been historically elite year in and year out. I don't think they're a bad team. I mean, I believe we should win. I believe we should dominate, but I think they're a solid team.
Yeah, that's something that actually Noshawn alluded to last night as well. Noshawn said that Kentucky would be one of the better teams in just about any other conference had they not been in the SEC. And Aaron and Noshawn had a little back and forth about that.
They always do.
Yeah, they love to banter, bulldog banter, if you will. Go check that out at the Players Lounge. But yeah, this Kentucky team is, the best word I'd use to describe them is gritty.
For sure.
As with almost all Mark Stoops teams are, as you said, the defense is always going to be gritty. They're always going to be something to look out for. They gave us a scare last year.
They did.
I believe we only won by 1.
Something like that.
I want to say it was like 13-12 or something like that.
Game.
They have a bit of a different roster this year. They have transfer quarterback Zach Calzada playing for them this year instead of last year. Brock Vandergriff, former Dog. Calzada got hurt against Ole Miss in the second week of the season, but he's probable for this week. That could play a big factor because he has real SEC experience, transferring from Texas A&M. Was pretty solid at A&M.
For sure.
How do you feel like that SEC experience could play a factor if he does play this weekend?
I mean, I think it definitely helps. You have a quarterback who's played in environments, in the SEC and is familiar with that type of atmosphere, that type of energy, and knows how to, kind of calm the nerves of not only himself but also his teammates. Like, hey guys, kind of like with Gunner. When you see Gunner go into a Neyland Stadium in Tennessee, but he's calm and he's relaxed, it kind of calms everybody else down. It's like, okay, if he's good, we're good. So I think that's the same thing Calzada is going to try to do for his Kentucky teammates.
Yeah, I think another player to watch out for is somebody you mentioned, their running back, Seth McGowan.
For sure.
He has played a great year so far. You said he was on the Doak.
He's on the Doak Walker watch list for not only this week, but at the preseason, and he's continued to have a great season as well.
Would you view him as the X factor for that offense in Saturday's game?
I believe him, but honestly, I'm going to go with a guy, a familiar name. I'm going to go with Kendrick Law, a transfer receiver from Alabama. I don't know Kendrick Law. I've never talked to him. But, there's kind of situations you can kind of piece together. The fact that we've seen Alabama's receiving core do well this year, I wouldn't be surprised if he was like, you know what, I want to get out and have my time to shine.
Yep.
And a big game against Georgia would be where you could do something like that. And not to set him up, not to tee him up. I hope it doesn't happen. I hope he does great against every other team, but I hope it doesn't happen. But, this could be a game where he pops off, and he's familiar with Georgia DBs. He's seen those matchups. He's not scared. He's played them. He knows what it's like. He's not scared at all. And I think that could be a guy fans aren't looking at as like, oh, he looks a little familiar. Where is he from? And it's like, oh, that's the guy that got us last week.
Another thing with that offense is that their offensive line has given up 9 sacks so far this year. With Georgia struggling just as recently as these past 2 games to get to the quarterback, how do you expect that to play a factor in this Saturday's game? Are you expecting Georgia to really, really try and take advantage and send a lot of pressure at whether it be Calzada or, what was his name, Botley? Botley. Are you expecting the Georgia defensive line to send a lot of pressure at either one of those quarterbacks? Or are you expecting to rely on more talent and believing that that offensive line can't contain the guys we have?
I think it's going to be a mix of both. I think, it's going to come with Coach Schumann and Coach Kirby drawing up some crazy blitzes. But for the most part, I think it's going to be, we believe our 4 can take on their 5. And if they chip, we'll send a linebacker if we need to. But for the most part, I think it's going to be our game plan. We're going to attack them the Georgia way. We're not going to, try to add in stuff. No offense to appease fans just because they want to see more sacks or more 50-yard bombs. We're going to play our brand of football the same way we always have. And if that comes from sending 4 and then maybe, a safety blitz or, off the edge blitz from Chris Cole or Elo Medozi, I believe, it's going to happen. But I don't think we're going to get too far outside of our normal game plan, and we're going to kind of stick to what we've always done.
Yeah, one of these games I'd love to see us incorporate like a Dalen blitz off the edge or a Janelle blitz from
just like Texas last year.
Just like I just want to.
It'll come.
Something about a quarterback getting blasted by a DB. Nothing hits harder than just getting blindside blasted. Like, man, it was against Tennessee in like 2018, 2019. I think it was Stokes who came around the edge and just obliterated the Tennessee quarterback. I want to see something like that. Those are my favorite type of plays, and I hope we can incorporate that, as you said, not to appease the fans like me, but I would love to see something like that. But let's flip sides to the defense. Kentucky's defense has been solid this season. Like, they have been a typical Kentucky defense who's holding good teams to low numbers. What are you hoping to see offensively? Are you hoping to see more of the same that we saw against Alabama or Tennessee? Or are you hoping to see Gunner maybe push the ball downfield a little bit? Or are you just hoping to see your boys cook? You're hoping to see Chauncey touch the ball 20 times, average 10 yards a carry, and just have a sexy little 200 yards?
I'd love to see more dominance on the ground. I loved how the O-line was blocking last game when it came to, and not even just running, because I don't even want to shorthand them like that. The pass blocking definitely improved. And if we're going to keep knocking everybody for all the things that went wrong, we got to, in reverse, boost them for the things they did do right. And the O-line was getting crucified by fans. Not even the fans, the media, everybody, game in and game out. And they went out and they did their thing. They definitely showed improvement. Bo Hughley started the game at right tackle. We saw his big old self locking down the right side of the O-line, so I'm happy to see that. I want to see more dominance on the ground. I want to see, ball security from the running backs. I want to see driving dudes after the play, and I would like to see Gunner chuck it downfield a little bit more. I know he has amazing arm talent that we haven't gotten to see, but so many times this season, just because of the situations of the games we've been in. It's not always time to just sling it, rip it right and left, but I would love to see us, kind of open up the offense a little bit more and start flexing our muscle.
Yeah, I'm honestly inclined to say that I haven't seen Gunner throw a deep ball yet. Like a deep ball. Like, the ball to Talon was like a layered mid-deep ball.
For sure.
Like, it was like a 30-yard throw, which is it was a very good throw.
Yeah.
But one of these games, and I don't know why we haven't done it yet. Just situational, hasn't worked out, but I want to see him sling a ball. Like, I just want to see it once, just to see what he can do, because I haven't seen it. You've seen it.
That's the
thing.
That's the thing is, for fans, is like, I know it's like, oh no, he can't do it. Trust me, like, he has one of the most elite arms I've ever seen in person.
I believe it, but I got to see it.
You got to see it. In fairness, I agree. I understand it.
All right, Jacob, let's talk national. My favorite thing to talk about of the week, honestly, from the media side of me, I love talking about everything that's going on. It's like a big TV show. It's something different. Some drama's happening every week.
Right.
Let's talk contenders, because there was a lot of shakeup in terms of who people thought were contenders after this past weekend.
Right.
After Penn State lost at home to Oregon, after Georgia lost at home to Alabama, after LSU lost to Ole Miss,
Florida State lost
to UVA. There's a lot of just kind of craziness going on in the college football world, and I can start, and I'll kind of talk about what my definition of a contender is.
Okay.
Now, yes, there are a lot of teams that could win the national championship. I believe there are, honestly, like 10 who could win the national championship. But as of now, after what did we just have, week 5?
Week 4 or 5, yeah.
As of now, I believe that only 3 teams have proven to me that they're capable of winning a national championship.
I'm curious to hear these 3 teams.
I think Oregon has proven themselves capable of winning a national championship.
I'd agree with that.
They've beaten the crap out of every team they've played. They went to Penn State, white out, night game, beat Penn State in double overtime. Like, beating them during the in regulation is impressive. Beating them in double overtime on the road is so. I don't care that they let them back in the game. Beating a team on the road like that in that environment in double overtime is insane. It's extremely impressive. So, Oregon has proven to me that they're a real contender. Miami has proven to me that they're a real contender.
That defense is elite this year.
The defense is legit. They have a veteran, savvy, I know not all Georgia fans want to hear it, an extremely talented, NFL caliber, NFL ready, pro style quarterback, and they run a pro style system. He is perfect for Miami, Carson Beck, that is. And I think Miami has proven to me that they are a contender. Like, they are a legit threat to win the national championship.
I would agree with that. And I love, to double down on that, I really love their defense. I love the way them dudes fly around. I love how aggressive they are. I love how the tenacity they play with. I like all of it.
And the last team, honestly, hasn't proved it as much to me, but they have proved it to me, is Ohio State.
Okay.
Beating Texas in week 1, while that's not a super impressive Texas team right now, I think that win will prove to get better throughout the season. I know you don't necessarily think the same thing. I think Texas is going to improve. But very under the radar, Washington is an extremely hard place to play.
Is a good place.
Had the second longest win streak coming into the game at 22 home wins in a row. I mean, Ohio State just clobbered them. 24-6, I think, was the final score. Like, it was never close. It was never a game. It was a game when the first ball was kicked, and after that, it was kind of wraps. But Ohio State has proven to me that they're a legit threat, a legit team. I think those 2 wins in Texas and Washington are legit wins. My only concern with them is I don't like, and concern with Oregon, I don't like young quarterbacks. I don't think in today's day and age, I think it's extremely difficult to win with a freshman or sophomore quarterback. When is the last time that happened? I mean, you had Will Howard, who was a super senior, J.J. McCarthy, who was a senior. You had Stetson, who was super senior. Yeah, 8th-year seniors. And then 2020 was Alabama with Mac Jones. 2019 was LSU with senior Joe Burrow.
Was it Jameis? I don't want to go back that far, but was it Jameis?
It might have been. It really might. Deshaun, how old was Deshaun? Or T-Law, how old was T-Law when he won?
He might have been.
I think T-Law was a sophomore.
I think he left
freshman.
as a junior.
So it's almost been 10. That's hard to believe that it's almost been 10 years since T-Law won a national championship.
Damn, I'm getting old.
We're unk. But it's been a long, long time, and especially in today's day and age with NIL and the veteran quarterbacks being able to move around and go to teams that will truly fit them. It is going to be a tough task for a young first-year quarterback to win a national championship. Doesn't help Gunner. It doesn't help Georgia. It doesn't help a lot of these teams. It's why I'm really leaning Miami for a lot of these games. I think Miami is a very, very, very serious threat. They were my number 1 team this past week.
I remember.
So those are my contenders.
My 3 contenders to combat, not really combat, but agree and disagree. I definitely got Miami on my list. I'm going to go Miami. I'm going to go Oregon. I like Dante Moore. I love DeCorian Moore, actually. The freshman receiver. He's a freak. And he's, having done this national media with you, I'm realizing more and more that there is an East Coast bias. And the fact that Oregon does get a lot of West Coast games, fans might not really know what DeCorian Moore is doing over there.
He's different.
He's balling, and he's hooping.
And he's the only receiver on their team with Evan Stewart going down preseason with a season-ending injury. He is the only guy that's catching balls for them. So as a freshman, to step up and take that role and succeed is wildly impressive.
He's basically been their number 1 option in terms of receiving. I know they got the tight end who's very talented as well, but he's been the main guy.
He's been awesome.
So I'm going to go Oregon. And I'm going to get called a homer. I'm going to get called bias. But I'm going to keep saying it. History repeats itself. Last time the Georgia Bulldogs were written off, especially after losing to Alabama.
Went on to win the SEC.
We went on to win the SEC. And, we had a bad game against Notre Dame, but we were one of the teams everybody was looking. We were a top 4 team that everybody was looking at as
number 2 seed in the playoff.
A number 2 seed in the playoffs, where people were like, okay, these dudes are going to make some noise. And I know how Coach Kirby and the rest of that staff get to motivating when we're written off. And I know how everybody seems to lock in differently. Everybody's practicing differently. Everybody's eating food differently. The whole environment around the facility and practice is different when we start when we feel disrespected and we feel like people are, especially our own fans, when we feel like our fans are, have a little doubt in their mind when it comes to, the product we put out on the field. So I'm going to put that as my top 3. I'm still going to put Georgia in there. I understand it looks a little homerish, especially
unbelievably biased. But
it looks completely biased. I understand it.
It doesn't look biased. It definitely is biased.
It's biased. Actually, yeah, you're right. It's biased. But I'm going to go, I'll at least put them at 3. I'll go Miami, I'll go Oregon, and I'm got to keep rolling with my Dogs because I know that mindset and I know how them boys are going to get after it. And there's nobody that prepares the way we do. And I trust in that.
I like it. Let's play a game that I introduced on Bulldog Banter last night.
Okay.
So if you haven't checked out Bulldog Banter, it is live right now. So go check out the newest episode of Bulldog Banter with Georgia greats, Aaron Murray, Tavares King, and no Sean Moreno. Go check it out. Unks.
Not squared. What is 3? Cubed.
Unks Cubed. Unks Cubed. That's the new name of the show, actually.
Unks
Cubed. Brought to you by TPL. But I introduced the show last night on there called Surging, Sleeping, and Sinking.
Okay.
And basically we're going to talk about one team from each category that is surging towards the CFP, so it's all CFP based, surging towards the CFP, a team that everybody's sleeping on for the CFP, and a team that's sinking out of the CFP race.
Okay.
So if you want to get started, you can go ahead and give us your surging team.
I'm going to go Missouri. I like Missouri. I love the tenacity they play with. I love the aggressiveness, that D-line plays with. They got a transfer from us, a good friend of mine, Damon Wilson, on one side of the D-line. And then on the other side, they got another Georgia dog who's a good friend of mine as well, Darius Smith. And those are 2 freaks of nature in terms of length, in terms of size, in terms of aggression, in terms of get-off. I think I was watching tape last week because I love watching Damon's games. I think Damon was getting off the ball in almost like a half a second to a second, where like the O-line isn't even in their kick step before he's getting in dudes' faces. They're forcing turnovers. They're doing great things on that defense. And then Ahmad Hardie.
Beast.
In my opinion, next to, Chauncey, if he keeps balling the way he's been doing, and
Singleton?
Maybe Singleton. Jeremiah Love has had a slow start a little bit. I think he's probably going to be the Doak Walker this year. He's been playing great. He's tall. He's fast. He's aggressive. He plays with extremely great pad level. Contact balance is elite. I like him. So that's probably going to be my team for surging.
Yeah, honestly, while you were sitting here talking, I changed my mind like 6 times on my surging team. I'll list a couple teams because I'm really having a hard time narrowing it down, and maybe you can help me out. One is Vanderbilt.
Okay.
Vanderbilt is absolutely surging. Undefeated so far, this team. Knocked off a good South Carolina team. And rolling into Tuscaloosa this week after Alabama's rolling on the highest of highs, obviously coming into Sanford and getting a win. Veteran quarterback in Diego Pavia and a very, very well-coached team. This team has beat the crap out of the teams they're supposed to beat and beaten the SEC team they're supposed to beat.
Yeah.
So I really like what Vanderbilt's doing. I have a hard time convincing myself that they're going to roll into Tuscaloosa and get a win.
Pavia said it ain't going to be close. Quote.
They also said that one kid from Vandy in like 2014 also said, Bama, you next.
We want Bama,
we
yeah.
want Bama, and then they lost like 56 zip. So, wow, look at how low that plane is. That's a military plane. That's like an old military plane.
That's how y'all know this is really live.
Yeah, live, look at that. We'll be able to catch the top half of that in the video. Another team I'm thinking about is Arizona State. So a lot of people wrote Arizona State off after their loss to Mississippi State, who's another team I'm going to bring up right after this. A lot of people wrote them off after their loss to Mississippi State, but since then all they've done is win and played very good ball. Sam Levitt, another veteran quarterback who was ranked as ESPN's #1 quarterback heading into the season. Really. Wow. So
Jordan Tyson is supposed to be receiver 1 in the draft this year.
And Jordan Tyson is legit. I'm a big draft guy, so I've already started looking at some mock drafts. He is consistently in the top 10 of every draft that I've looked at. So this Arizona State team is very legit and put Texas to the ultimate test last year in the playoff. And it wouldn't shock me if they went on a run and made a run for this Big 12 championship game. The last one I'll talk about is Mississippi State.
Okay.
Mississippi State obviously lost to Tennessee at Tennessee. Or was it? No. It was in Mississippi State. In Starkville in overtime to a very, very good Tennessee team. Knocked off Arizona State at home earlier in the season. Mississippi State has been sneakily very good. They came into the season. I thought they were going to be the worst team in the SEC.
Yeah.
I thought they were going to be the worst team in the SEC. Honestly, and I'll say this, I for sure thought they were going to be the worst team in the SEC. But they have proven me so wrong.
Offense has looked solid. Anthony Evans, former receiver for us, I think he has a pair of touchdowns on the season, speedy guy. They look solid. They
have looked very good, and it's another team that I'm very curious to see what they do for the rest of the season. Obviously, they're in the SEC, and they're in the bottom half of the SEC, so it's going to look a lot more daunting than it might actually be for them because they're going to play all these ranked teams, and they're not necessarily ranked right now. But Mississippi State's another one. So honestly, of those three, I think I'm going to take Arizona State.
Okay.
As my.
I don't know who Mississippi State plays this week, but I think they're the safest bet.
Yeah.
Considering Vandy got to go into Bama in Tuscaloosa.
Yeah, and I think the Big 12 is generally a weaker conference, so it's
they might still win that conference.
Yeah.
They're probably favored to win that conference.
They're not, and that's what we'll touch on next in the sleeping department. So our next category being our sleeping CFP teams, and I have 2. Okay. I keep flipping my mind, and I'll pick one at the end.
You're good.
But I just want to kind of talk through it. So number 1, we're here.
Yeah.
We're here. A lot of people are writing Georgia off after that loss, saying that Kirby doesn't have it. People were calling for Kirby's head.
Crazy.
Ridiculous. Absolutely absurd. But Georgia is now, I honestly believe that Georgia is now a sleeping team. This is a team that you do not want to poke. You do not want to poke the sleeping bear. If somebody gets on the bad side of this team, let's say it's Ole Miss rolling into town in 3 weeks.
Yeah, it's going to be personal.
It is going to get ugly quick. And I tell you, not to wish this on Georgia, but I tell you what's going to get even worse is I do not want to see Kirby with his back against the wall. If you put,
Ever.
if for some reason, somehow, some way, Georgia comes away with a loss in Jordan Hare, and we're 24th heading into this Ole Miss game, this is literal. I'm not exaggerating. Georgia is the last team I want to play with their backs against the wall.
No, never.
100%. And that's coming from a non-Georgia standpoint, like a national standpoint. I do not want to play this team with a back against the wall.
I'll even say this. I think backs are against the wall now. I think, especially as you brought up with the way the media has been portraying things, people having the audacity to go after the greatest coach in college football right now.
Yep, 100%.
And call for his job. I think the disrespect and the backs against the wall mentality is right now, and I think it carries for the rest of the season.
Yeah, I'm very, very curious to see the mentality of this team when they run out of the tunnel at 11:30 on Saturday.
Agreed.
I think I'm hoping for a tenacious, hungry, like monster of a team, like one collective monster of a team. But anyway, I'll move off Georgia because we've talked about Georgia a lot. My other sleeping team is Texas Tech.
They have looked good. Texas
Tech has looked very good,
especially in the front seven.
They have looked unbelievable so far this season. And again, in a weaker conference, this is Texas Tech versus Arizona State for me.
Yeah.
And I think a lot of people are sleeping on Texas Tech just because they are a smaller, I don't want to say smaller market because they spend as much as anybody with all that oil money.
All them Texas schools got that mud.
But this team is very good, and if you're not paying attention if you are a Georgia fan watching this, or if you're a national fan and you're not watching Texas Tech games, tune into a game. Just watch one. They're exciting. They're physical. They're very, very well coached. It's a very good team, and I think they're a sleeping giant, and they could be as high as like a 5 seed or a 6 seed come CFP time.
Where are they now? 10? 9?
No, they're way back there.
Really? Still?
I think they're like.
I thought at one point they were like 11.
14 or 13.
Really?
I'll look really quick, but I want to say they're like 13, 14.
I thought at one point they were like 11. I thought they would just kept.
I don't think so.
Up.
Maybe I'm wrong. Let's check the AP. Oh, they are 11 right now.
Okay, I was about to say I thought they were 11.
They jumped up after last week. I was thinking of last week's rankings.
12?
I think they were 12 or 13 last week.
Okay.
So yeah, they're my sleep. Them and Georgia are my sleepers. Georgia's obviously a safer bet, I think.
I'm gonna kind of steal your logic a little earlier with the surging teams, and I'm gonna go LSU.
We're going to disagree on this, and I'm sending this exact clip to Aaron, and Aaron's going to cuss you out for it.
Especially after taking the loss that they took, I still feel strong about that roster. They were one
roster-wise, I don't disagree at all.
Roster-wise, I feel they have all the talent.
100%.
Coach Brian Kelly has been a mastermind for years. He's just got to figure out a way. He just got to figure out a way, make all those things, those pieces move and work together. But they got a veteran quarterback. They got a quarterback who can make all the throws. They got a quarterback who won't go out of his way, like you said. He's just going to manage the game and he's going to do what he has to do. But then when he needs to, he can make that play. They got like every year, they got all the receivers. One of the fastest players in the country, Barian Brown, a transfer from Kentucky, who the Dawgs will play this week, is at LSU. They still have Adam Anderson.
Is Adam Anderson was the Georgia linebacker?
That's what I thought. It's something Anderson. I think it's Adam.
Offense?
Receiver, number 1, something Anderson.
Oh.
We shoot a podcast.
We're shooting a podcast for the school.
5 more minutes?
Like 10 minutes max.
Yes, sir. Thank you. I think it's Adam Anderson.
Keep talking.
But they got the transfer. They got Adam Anderson. They have Barian Brown. They got a lot of speedy guys, and then they got a quarterback that can deal the ball to them. They still have Caden Durham. The defense still has one of the most freakish dudes in all of college football, Harold Perkins.
Yep.
Mansour Delane, the guy from the crib, right around DC for me. He's going to be a top pick when it comes to DBs this year. They got a lot of pieces, and Death Valley is a hard place to play. So anytime, regardless of their ranking, anytime somebody has to go into their home, they got the advantage when it comes to those games. So I think that's a team that still might catch people off guard. And I'm not writing off LSU after one loss.
That's fair.
And not to throw in some jokes, especially when the linebacker is dating the opposing coach's daughter.
Yeah, it doesn't help.
That kind of gives him a little bit of a boost. So Lane Kiffin was coaching that like a national championship.
Yeah, I would be too. To be fair.
Yeah.
Let's talk about the sinking teams.
Okay.
And that's a great segue.
Okay.
Into my sinking team.
Go ahead.
Because it's LSU. I truly believe that LSU. Is in a funk. I think they are really struggling to get anything going offensively. And as you said, roster-wise, I have no doubts that this team is a championship contender. But it's not always about roster. You look at Clemson, roster-wise, should be a national championship contender. Florida, roster-wise, should be a national championship contender.
Yeah.
So it's not always about roster. And this team, through 2 weeks, you can say, like, we don't know. They just haven't figured it out. 3 weeks? 4 weeks?
Yeah.
5 weeks now, we have seen this offense.
Proof is in the pudding.
This offense has been able to do nothing despite having the veteran quarterback, despite having all the weapons. Like, their run game is atrocious.
Yeah.
Their run game might be last in the SEC. Like, it is.
The O-line has struggled.
It is very, very, very poor offensive line play and running back play. And this team has not given me a ton of hope in terms of literally the only thing that gives me hope is that depth chart. Like, looking down the depth chart and looking at those names. Yeah, that's it. And their schedule is hard. Their schedule is not easy. So LSU is a team that I think is sinking and sinking quickly, and I think they're doggy paddling and they need floaties, and they're going to need something.
Snorkels.
Yeah, they're going to need something because
oxygen tanks.
This team is going to have a hard time climbing their way back up.
I'm going to go different conference. I'm going ACC. Florida State. I think Florida State's done. No disrespect to them, but I got some dudes I played high school with at Florida State. I know they're gonna hate me for saying this, but having grown up a Miami fan, not that I'm hating, I'm definitely rooting for Carson this week. It doubles down that I was born a Miami fan, but also Florida State comes in with all these like they get really high. Their highs are high, but their lows are lows. And UVA, even though that was a very talented team that I don't think people were looking at, because UVA had been performing well
UVA
all
is
season.
very sneaky.
Right. Especially, that isn't an easy place to play as people think. As easy a place to play as people think. So the Who's as
Cavaliers.
they say. Cavaliers, the Who's as they say. That win didn't surprise me. I really wasn't that impressed with Florida State in that Alabama win. I more thought it was a bad game from Alabama.
Yeah, terrible Bama game.
Than it was a good game from Florida State. And I think Carson is going to pick them apart. I think that defensive line is going to give Tommy Castellanos a lot of trouble. And I haven't really seen much separation being created from their receivers. I think the Miami Hurricanes are going to walk through, and I think it's going to tip off the fall of the Seminoles.
Yeah, if you've got a surging team, a sleeping team, and a sinking team, go ahead and drop them in the comments below before we get into this last topic. Let's get into this last topic. Let's talk quarterbacks. ESPN released their top quarterbacks in college football this past week. And let's talk about our collective top 5 quarterbacks. We'll kind of do this together.
Okay.
I'll name a couple guys. We'll talk a sentence or two about them, and we'll make a list. Let's talk about the former Georgia player Carson Beck, because he was my number 1 quarterback heading into the season. As much as everybody hated to hear it, as much as everybody hated to hear me say he's going to be a top 10 pick and he's going to ball at Miami, he's going to be a Heisman finalist.
He's been doing it.
He's on pace.
Mm-hmm.
So I think we're in agreement there that Beck
Carson,
is a top
CB's
5
top
quarterback.
5.
100%.
Yeah, CB's top 5 for sure.
You have a guy you want to name next?
I'm going to go Dante Moore.
Okay.
Especially after this game against Penn State. He makes all the throws. Like I told you, that connection with him and DeCorian Moore, same last name. I don't think there's any relation. But it's been elite. And, if you've been an East Coast bias fan and you've been watching SEC, ACC, Big Ten, go check out the Oregon Ducks outside of just their game versus Penn State. They've been an explosive, aggressive, and tenacious team. I know we keep saying tenacious and tenacity, but that's what I've seen.
That's what good football is all about.
That's what it's supposed to be, yeah.
Another guy I want to talk about really quick is Ty Simpson.
Yeah.
And might be hard for Georgia fans to hear right now. Might sting just a little bit. But Ty Simpson has been the most efficient, proficient well-rounded quarterback
Consistent.
in college football for the past 4 weeks.
For sure. For sure.
Completion percentage through the roof. Never puts the ball at risk except for his first throw, which KJ should have picked off. That was literally the only one where I was like, wow, I wasn't expecting. And that's when I thought we had the game in the bag, because I thought we rattled him, and like he's already misplacing throws, like making bad reads.
That's been his thing, yeah.
No, that wasn't the case. He made a lot of really good throws against us. But Ty Simpson is a top 5 quarterback. He is extremely talented, unbelievably poised in the pocket, doesn't ever look like he's panicking.
Not at all.
And I truly believe he's a top 5 quarterback in the league right now.
I'd agree with that. I'd probably he's like my 5'6", but I definitely I don't want to discredit him. He plays a phenomenal game against us. He's played phenomenal all season, especially being a first-year starter. So I don't want to discredit him. He showed a lot of grit, being able to run for a touchdown. So I respect his game. I respect their coach. I respect everything, but he's borderline for me, but definitely top 10.
Mm-hmm. You got another guy you want to add on?
I'm gonna go my sleeper. I'm gonna go Marcel Reed,
Okay.
Texas A&M.
All right.
They've been playing good. My roommate has been cheering. He's not even from Texas. He
He's
has no
cheering
ties
for
to Texas A&M. He fell in love with them after that Notre Dame game, and he was like,
they're an easy team to fall in love with after that game. That game was crazy.
He fell in love with after that game. He loves how they play. I think it's Mike Elko. Mike Elko is the coach over there. He's a gritty coach. Another coach that I know Coach Kirby highly respects. So I like Texas A&M, and I like Marcel Reed, especially going into his second year starting as a quarterback. And, I think last year he was kind of, I don't want to say a deer in headlights, but everything was new to him.
Yep.
Whereas this year he's a lot more comfortable. He's used to, taking lead and understanding that a lot more things are going to be put on his shoulders, and he's comfortable with that.
Yeah, it's crazy to think that we're sitting here in week 5, and I'm just going to name a couple guys that aren't in this top 5 for us right now, because guys that we thought might be in the top 5, guys like Drew Aller, guys like
Cade
Klubnik, Garrett Nussmeier, DJ Lagway, Lenore Sellers, like honestly, if you would have told me those were the top 5 quarterbacks in week 5,
damn near the NFL mock draft top 5.
Exactly, and those guys we're not seeing them in the top 5 right now, and it's just shows you how volatile college football is. But we have one more spot, and I'm going to name 3 guys, and I know who you're going to say, but we're going to talk about the 3 of them. We're going to talk about Gunnar Stockton.
Yep.
We're going to talk about Fernando Mendoza. And we're going to talk a little bit about Joey Aguilar. And I know Joey Aguilar might not fit in there, but we're going to throw him in just to have a little conversation about it. Okay. We can talk about Joey first. Very, very talented quarterback.
Agreed.
Very, very talented system, if you will.
Yeah.
It's just like you said off camera now. That Tennessee system is built for quarterbacks to sling the ball. You could throw the ball 60 times, complete half of them, and you're throwing for 450 yards and 4 touchdowns. So we've seen it the last couple years. I don't want to
discredit him. He's made a lot of elite throws, and he's won them some games. He's won them some close games. As Coach Kirby said, he played and their team played well enough to beat us. And then he said they should have. So I don't want to discredit him, but that I'm hesitant with that position at Tennessee. Nothing that has to do with him, and I don't want to discredit Tennessee. The fact that Coach Heupel has made an offense that fits quarterbacks that well should be, if anything, praised.
Yeah.
So I don't want to discredit him, but I also am a little hesitant to throw a top 5 out there when I know I've seen the Hendon Hookers. Last year it was Nico. I've seen the Josh Dobbs. I know that wasn't him, actually, so I take that back. But I've seen quarterbacks do well in that offense that I don't want to say it boosted them, but it definitely made things a little bit easier.
It makes it easier. It's like the 49ers, I think.
Yeah.
It's like a Kyle Shanahan system. Like, it's a quarterback's system. Like, the Niners don't need a game changer to win games. No. Like, you saw Mac Jones come in and win games and play very well for them in week 2 or week 3. But yeah, I think it's a quarterback's safe haven, if you will. But that leaves Mendoza and Stockton, and I know you're going to say Stockton.
Yeah.
And you can make your case. And this is not me knocking Stockton when I say this. No, for sure.
Yeah, we're talking about the top 5.
Stockton is still a top 10 quarterback, like by all means. Mendoza has been on another level this year. I mean, that's another offense that promotes slinging the ball around and promotes high octane offense. But I really think Mendoza has come into this Indiana team, and I mean, filling in for a 6th-year quarterback last year, wasn't it Rourke last year?
Rourke, yeah.
I think it was Rourke last year. Like a 5th or 6th-year quarterback last year, and filling those shoes as a transfer from Cal. takes a lot of guts, but he has filled them in more. He has been unbelievable this year, led that team to a 53-point win over a top 10 team. Indiana is rolling, and I'm very curious to see what they do against their next good opponent, I'll say. But I think Mendoza has done enough to secure himself as a top 5 quarterback in college football.
I'll say this: I want to reshift our list.
Already?
I think
you want to throw Ty out.
I want to bump Marcel Reed. No disrespect, maybe into the top 10, 6 through 10.
Okay.
I don't know exactly where, and I want to give Gunner and Mendoza those top 5 spots.
Okay.
Because I agree with everything you said about Mendoza, and honestly, the NFL scouts believe it too. Because I think I saw something today that he might have been quarterback 1 in some mock drafts.
It's going to be him and Beck at the end of the year, and who did we just talk about? Forget it. Never mind.
But then I still got to give it to Gunner. I know it's bias. I know it's Homer. I know it's an ex-teammate, a guy I came in with. Locker mate, but I truly believe it. I truly believe that 14 has all the talent, all the things needed, all the intangibles needed to lead the Georgia Bulldogs to a national championship. And I believe when the time comes, we're all going to see that, and a lot of people are going to be biting their words and, wishing they didn't say the things they said.
Yeah,
And we got the screenshots.
We'll keep them. We'll keep tabs.
We're keeping receipts.
But if you have a different top 5 or the same top 5, drop your top 5 quarterbacks in the comments as well. We want to. I'll be responding to some comments. I'll get on the account.
I always do.
We'll respond to some comments on YouTube and on Instagram. We'll probably make this a graphic too. Yeah. So
and whoever said y'alls, I counted that too.
Yeah, whoever's counting his y'alls.
Yeah, whoever's counting my y'alls. Whoever's counting my y'alls, stop pocket watching.
Thank y'all so much for watching another episode here in Sanford Stadium. It is another beautiful night here. If you're an audio listener on Spotify, Apple, wherever you get your podcasts, you're missing out. I mean, you got to check
out the YouTube. You got to see the visuals.
This is a beautiful, beautiful visual for us tonight.
Jack goes through a lot, man. He pulls up his pickup truck, and we carry this couch to set up right here. You got to check out the visuals.
Got to check it out. It's worth it. And while you're sitting there, go ahead and subscribe to the YouTube channel.
You better.
At the Players Lounge. It's free, and you get to see more of us talking about some fun, cool football stuff. And on the social side, we are going to be all of your feed, as I say every week. We're going to be all of your feed on Saturday and the days coming up to the game. This will be coming out on Friday. So tomorrow, be on the lookout for us on pregame. Be on the lookout for us at halftime. Be on the lookout for us postgame. We'll be on the field posting updates, posting some recaps, things of that nature, pregame, players to look out for.
Yep.
It will be an awesome, very, very fun morning for us because it is a noon game.
Onslaught of media.
Content. As always, check us out at the Players Lounge and TPL Georgia and Georgia CFB, and myself at jack.m.wright.
At Jacob Hardie 23.
And we will catch y'all next time.
Go Dogs.